All right, all right. Welcome to another episode of the social experiment. We are live. We are live. Man, man, man. I had a good weekend. I can't front. Today is Tuesday. What is it? October 22nd. Halloween weekend is upon us, or one of them, because you know when Halloween falls in the middle of the week, it tends to be one of them situations where you'd be like, I mean, we could celebrate on either day. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be one of those kind of things, really. You know, shout out to the people as you pull into the chat. Feel free to come in, say hello, wipe your feet, get comfortable, get you a glass of your favorite beverage. You know what I'm saying? Get ready. We about to be talking about a lot of shit today, you know. And it's funny because a lot of times when I don't do lives like these often because normally I have these different discussion topics and things that I want to chop on. And I do still have plenty of stuff that I want to chomp at. But occasionally I like to do these real talk where literally, like, I have questions that people have asked me, things that have been emailed to me, um, things that people have just asked me on the side. And, I want to take the opportunity to, like, give people a chance to really see what's going on. So this way they can, you know, get their questions answered. Because sometimes when you're commenting on a live, you don't always get a chance to get your question answered per se, or it might get lost in the mix of the conversation or whatever the case may be. Hey, boo, what's up? Chrissy's on here already, wide awake, right out of the bush tail. You know what I'm saying? And, it's just one of those things where you're like, I want to get into these questions. So as I'm setting this thing up, just, knocking on a couple of doors and letting people know that I am out here so they can pull up and join the conversation. Because I always do my due diligence. I like to, because people are busy, you let them be aware that you're here. Because I lose track all the time, and the reminders be helping me when it's like videos that I like to watch, streams that I like to catch up with, and things. So, that's just something that I try to make sure to do for the people that. Anyway, I'm about to go to my list of questions in just a second because it's very, very important to get your questions addressed. And you don't want people to feel like you don't answer their questions when they're asking you. So that's something that I try to take a little pride in making sure that I make happen. Anyway, so I have a question number one here. And yes, I got my little tablet out, trying to be a little organized and shit. Um, Now, this is a question in regards to the poly lifestyle. And of course, I won't say who their name is, what their name is, because we deal with anonymity here. If you do email me and ask me to bring something up on live, I'm not going to name you unless you want me. So apparently, this couple has been in a poly relationship for about 2.5 years. Sorry, I'm reading from a distance. For about 2.5 years. And apparently, it's come to a point where, like, marriage is being discussed amongst one of them. The other one is still enjoying themselves simply, playing the field, having a good time, they're enjoying their position in the poly dynamic. I believe their poly dynamic is more like they all live together. It's one man and two females, and they all live together. They decided to pool their resources. And my understanding of this, because I read it before the podcast started, so I don't have to stare at it too much. But my understanding is that they're trying to figure out um, how to move forward because apparently girl A is ready to get married, settle down. They'll still actively participate in the lifestyle and such, but they want to know what to do as far as how to progress their relationship forward because you have the other girl who isn't necessarily ready for that yet. And what's funny is that the other girl is the one that he's been with longer, but she's still having fun, and she's like, I don't know if I really want to get into something that heavy. And I guess because he's older, like apparently the girls are around the same age. They're both in their mid 30s or whatever. But what's happening is that if you have questions and you want me to answer them, you could DM me. If you don't want to put it on the chat, or you could just put it on the chat and I'll answer. I'm answering one that was emailed to me right now. While you're in the chat, hit the like button, share it out to people, let them know I'm out here. This is how I get this shit out here. I need y'all to do me that one favor is like and share. And if you haven't subscribed, do that. Anyway, so apparently what's happening is, like I said, they're trying to figure out how to move forward. My advice would be, first off, you need to really have a sit down conversation, like a serious one, because apparently, they know where the other girl stands, so they kind of was trying to avoid it because they feel like it might create some dissension within the poly dynamic. But I disagree with that. I feel like personally, you need to communicate how you feel with the girl who is saying that she's not ready for all of that yet. Let her know where y'all goals is. This has been something that was discussed from way before, but it's okay because sometimes feelings change in the middle of a relationship, and what you end up having to do is call an audible. And in this case, that's what you're doing. You ended up having these feelings where you want to take things further, and it's a 2 against 1, which majority rules, but you don't force somebody into something they don't want to be in yet. And maybe if you really do care about this person, you don't want to lose that person or hit them with an ultimatum. So this is what you do. Just tell them, listen, I'm loving the dynamic of our relationship. Everything's cool. Everything's beautiful. I'd like to move forward in the future with this and set us up for something long term that's viable. These are people who have taken my advice, by the way, as to how to have a poly marriage. So that's what he's aiming to do with the both of them. And like I said, my greatest suggestion I can make to you is, as the man, you just got to bring both these women together and say, listen, this is what I want to do. We definitely care about you. We love you, all of that. And we want to go to the next level. If you're not ready, we understand, but is this something that you're looking to do in the future and you just need a little bit more time? Because if that's the case, I would give her the time and don't push the issue. Or is that just something you never, ever, ever want to do, which is then you got to consider the fact of that situation. Especially being that she's been around longer, she probably feels like she has a guaranteed spot in that circle because she's the senior person there. And I tell people all the time, in poly dynamics, there is no number 1, 2, and 3 if you're functioning properly. The moment you all decide to be a union, that is a collection of people upon themselves where there's nobody really standing on top. Now, there's different dynamics where somebody could be considered the top one and all stuff, but me personally, I think of poly in its purest form functions well when nobody is necessarily the HNIC. Aside from the man, if it's a male with two female dynamic, that man should be the head of the table, should be the end all be all, the where the buck stops, and the women should just be with him, and we're all with each other, and that's cool. Now that being said, like I said, my greatest advice to you is just to have a sit down conversation and see if it's really that deep. If she if she needs more time, give her more time. But if she says that she's never ever ever trying to do that, you have to ask yourself, is this really the person for y'all? Because if you have a desire to go one way and they have a desire to go another, you might have to change the dynamic a little bit. Maybe she can simply be somebody y'all play with, simply be a toy of y'all's, and that is it. Like I said, feel free to send in those questions. Send in the questions. Um, so that's my advice for that one. If anybody else has something that they want to throw in, feel free. I have another question here. Let me open up this email. Um, okay, this one is a little bit trickier. Apparently, this is a person who's new to the lifestyle. They have been engaging for about 6 months. It's a female. Yeah, Jeep, you're gonna have to rewind, baby. You gotta rewind. Um, and her question is, she said that she is recently divorced, or actually widowed. And this is her first time back into the dating arena. She's also a lifestyle individual. Now, that being said, she said that she is now ready and open to date, but she also wants somebody to date within the lifestyle community. But she's often been told that the lifestyle is the worst place to try to find somebody. Now, I'm going to say this before I get into the rest of this question. You have to operate, whatever your dating dynamic is, you have to operate within the community that you function in. If you're gay, you have to date within a community of gay people so that you can find somebody that's like you. Because if you go outside of your circle to try to date, you're going to end up with somebody that's not going to work, and it's going to be a miserable situation. And that's just a waste of time. And especially when you're getting older, you don't have time to waste like that. Like I was talking to a girl the other day, and she was talking about, she's 48 years old, talking about, oh, I'll give a man like 2-3 years to see if I can, to see if they're viable for something long term, whatever. And I said, no. I said, you 47, 48 years old, they get a year. Even in my perspective, if I'm engaged with somebody, any serious relationship, since I turned 40, my rule was always 1 year. Within that 1 year, I know whether I want to move forward or let them be. That is personally my best advice, because time is not on your side. Time is the one thing, one commodity that no matter how much money you make, no matter how much effort you put out, you cannot get it back. That whole concept of making time is a misnomer, because you can't make time. You can only accept the time that you have available and do the most with it. So, getting back to this question here, this lady wants to know how she could go about finding a suitable partner in the lifestyle community. Said that she's very guarded and that she's very, careful, but she is also pretty friendly as far as just being social. It's just as far as letting people in a personal space, she's very guarded. Now, with something like that, like I said, you dip your toe in the water, take your time. In this case, I know I just said time, but that doesn't mean rush. Once you find your person, you set a time and you say, okay, let's do this for this time frame and see what happens after that. If everything is still lined up, then you keep on proceeding forward. If things don't line up, then you move to the left, move on to the next. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being able to admit that somebody is not for you. Anybody that would shame you for making a choice to say that somebody is not for you is somebody that is toxic and you don't need them in your universe. Because there's no reason ever why you should be ashamed to say, hey, listen, you seem like a dope person, whatever, but you're not for me. No matter how many times a woman, and I'll say this for men, a lot of times men have a hard time telling a woman, hey, you cool and all, but I'm not really feeling you like that, blah, blah, blah. You got to tell her the truth. Don't just lead her on and drag her around and you're not into her like that. Let that shit go. There's nothing wrong with that. We need to learn to lean into that more. So to answer this lady's question, because I don't want to derail too much from it. To answer this lady's question, I again will say you got to start off by taking your time. You have to vet people. Just like you were vetted, hopefully, to get into a lifestyle community, you have to vet people before you let them in. Because the problem is, a lot of times we just get caught up in the emotions and the excitement and the newness of a relationship, and we forget about the vetting. I vet. I definitely do. Even as the relationship is active, still vetting, still feeling things out, still learning. You take your time. We learn each other every day. These are things that you have to do in order to grow successfully in a relationship. You want to make sure that you're both heading in the same direction if you want to tie your life energy to theirs. And this operates whether you're being poly or monogamous. This isn't a lifestyle only advisement. You don't just have to vet people just because you're in a lifestyle. You have to vet people because they're going to be in your circle, in your energy, and you shouldn't just let anybody attach themselves to your energy just because they look good and fuck you good. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. They get caught up in the glitz, the glamour, and the sparkles and forget about the reality of shit. And what ends up happening is they get jammed up. And then when you get jammed up, you're looking around and want to blame everybody. No, boo, it was you. Nobody told you to do this and not think it through first. This man's a piece of shit, yeah. But he's a piece of shit because you didn't. He was always a piece of shit. You just never took the time to vet him to see that because you were too busy jumping on his dick. And then you end up all caught up off the loving and not even realizing that the dude is truthfully a piece of shit. So in order to make that a better situation, you have to first vet them. Get to know each other. If your lifestyle, do some things that aren't lifestyle. Because if the only time y'all have fun together is when y'all are in the lifestyle going to a swing party, then they might be less of a life partner and more of a fun partner. Meaning you could bring them out when you go into events, they're a good time person and everything's cool, and you could leave things there. Because those kind of relationships are okay too. Everybody doesn't have to marry the person that they get with. You could just have a situation where y'all just have fun, y'all fuck, y'all hook up, blah, blah, blah. You'll go to swing parties, and that's y'all dynamic. And that could work perfectly fine for y'all. But you have to figure out what is going to truly work for you. Hit the like and share, people, please. And don't be shy with those questions. Anyway, like I said, so that's my next suggestion is, like I said, take your time and get to know them outside of lifestyle activity. See how that feels. And then you can determine where to put that person. Let me see. Oh, and one more thing I will suggest on that too. Um, kind of background check them a little bit. Not literally like on some online, I'm gonna run your name. Don't do it. I mean, you could. Don't knock you, but you don't want to look too weird, like you're enacting an investigation or something like that, because that could scare people off. But what you want to do, see if you get a little whole facts on them if they're in a lifestyle, like see what they attach themselves to, what they align themselves with. Take a look at their Facebook and see what they talk about prior to engaging in a relationship with you. Do your own due diligence like you would with anything else. Do your own due diligence so this way you don't get any surprises later that could end up having you jammed up. Let's see what's next. Oh, yeah. So, oof. Okay, well, that sucks. All right. So, next question. This one kind of unfortunate. Apparently, this is a couple. She says call her anonymous girl, so I will call her AG. If you're on here, AG, or if you're seeing this later, I see your question and I got you. And no, AG has nothing to do with her real initials, so don't try to figure that out. Anyway, apparently, AG got with this guy about 2 years ago. And she said lately it seems like he's becoming a different person. I asked her, I said, how old are you? She said she's 35. I said, oh, okay. How old is he? 41. I said, oh, I think I know what's going on here. And when she said, what do you mean? I said, give me the rest of the information. So she gave me the rest of the information, blah, blah, blah. And what she's asking me here is that she wants to know how she should handle the fact that he's switching up on her. Apparently, he's already cheated in the past. She cheated back on him, so they felt like they was even. And I'll tell you this. Cheating back on somebody that's cheating does not even the scale. Because you're both cheating for different reasons. So you can never fill in one thing by putting something else there. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. And yeah, I could see the argument for that. But here's my thing. I've never seen somebody just cheat back and then it was all hunky dory. Because, like I said, you're cheating for two different reasons. So that toxicity is eventually going to come back down the stream. It's just going to take a minute. So it's a matter of sit tight, wait, and see. So with this one, she wants to know, she's concerned that he's cheating again. And she wants to say, and she asked herself a question, which I know many women have asked. She's like, she's bisexual, they have threesomes, they've had foursomes and whatever some, did all types of shit. She cooks, she cleans, she does it all. Apparently, according to what she's telling me. Do I know all this to be true for certain? No offense, AG, but I'm just going by what you're telling me. Be all this be true, you're basically giving your boyfriend, husband energy. But let me ask you something. First and foremost, is your boyfriend giving you potential wife energy? Like, is he treating you like somebody that would be like that he potentially sees as being his wife? Or is he treating you like somebody that he looks at as being his girl? Because the energy you put out should always be met. That's the one time where I actually am a celebrator of tit for tat because I feel like if you put forth an effort to do this thing, the least I could do is do this for you. But that only rings true when when you have the right person at your side. See, a lot of you, like I said, you pick partners with the wrong criteria, and you wonder why you end up in a situation where you got a person who literally is like they can't really do too much for you. They can't do too much to help you. They leave you hanging all the time. Apparently, in this situation, she um, has caught him cheating already, but still took him back, gave him another chance, said we love each other, blah, 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 blah. And now here he is slacking. Honey, listen, sometimes the truth is what it is. It has no bearing whatsoever on who you are as a woman. It has no bearing whatsoever on the quality of your loving or whatever. Because, like I said, you was already giving this man three holes. And some women will say, see that? That's why I don't be doing all that for these dudes because da 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 da. I disagree with that energy. And I'm going to tell you why. Because anything that you do for your partner should come from here. It should be your heart. And you say, you know what? I want to make my partner happy. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get them that one thing that they've been trying to get. But out. Like, you've been trying so long to try to get this that you almost forgot what it was like to actually have that. And now here you are, you finally have this thing. But then you have all these obstacles. I got to tell y'all too. Hey, what's up, Nita? I got to tell y'all too. You cannot get discouraged when the thing you want don't want you. You can't because that's going to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You don't have a choice in this. The only choice you have is to either bother or not bother. And if you decide to not bother, then you just go up over to the side and whatever's whatever. But going in the direction where most people are going to want to go, which is they want to have that successful relationship. They want to work it out if they feel there's infidelity like this, like AG, my anonymous girl that asked this question. And let me tell you something. There is never going to be a moment where you're going to 100% get every single thing that you want to get done. There's always going to be something lingering. So don't make yourself crazy with it. That being said, my advice to you is you're going to have to question him a little bit because apparently this guy is really good at hiding his stuff. If all you got is speculation and y'all supposed to be living together, I don't quite see how that works. But I will tell you this. You need to think long and hard the next time you go about trying to find somebody that's going to be equally yoked to you. Because a lot of these people are out here for self. They are out here to get the most they can out of life. That's what they're here for. No more, no less. And I apologize if sometimes you run into a brick wall and you'll look and say, well, Max said this, or Max. Yeah, but everything I say is not 1,000% the exact science. A lot of this is based on empirical evidence, hypotheticals, based on phone. Like, it's different out here now. So with that being said, you have to come into this ready and prepared to go to battle if this person is really what you. Now, me personally, I will say this to you. I don't think there's any person on this earth, as far as humans, man, woman, dog, cat, all that, is worth you sacrificing the inner peace within yourself just to deal with that. It's like when a poly guy comes at me with a question and I might have forgotten something or whatever the case may be. Here's the thing. If you have any interest whatsoever in moving forward in your, like I said, in your poly situation, you have to have all your guidelines and all that other stuff set up from the beginning. You can't go into it and think that you're just going to jump in and wing it by the seat of your pants. Also, do research. I always use myself as an example when I say things. For example, my relationship has a Dom sub dynamic to it. I'm into BDSM, as is she. As much stuff as I do know about BDSM, just today I was looking at an article, just not an article, but like just some information online, just discussing the intricacies of different dynamics. I even went on Reddit to look at people's stories, talk about their dynamic and how they function and blah 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 blah. Because there's always more to learn. I feel like no matter what it is that you do out here, you should always do your due diligence. Like I said, when I told the girl, if you want to vet people, do your due diligence, take your time, get your whole facts on them, see what's going on with this person before you really let them into your energy. Because people are too loose with their energy, they're too generous with this shit. They just pass it out. Oh, you want to hang with me? You can hang with me. You can hang with me. You can hang with me. It's like a fucking Oprah show. You giving everybody that, you end up not having nothing left because a lot of people are parasites. They will come into your life, drain everything out of you, and once you ain't got nothing else to give, they leave you broken and dying on the ground. You don't want to end up being that person. Like for me, again, using myself as the example, when I have somebody under me, if I'm involved in a relationship, exactly, need an energy vampire. If I'm involved in a relationship, I got to make sure that my partner is able to be the best version of themselves. So I'm going to do everything I can to put them in a position to win. Much like I always say on my shows, my mission is to make my contribution to the world to make it a little bit better than it was before I came into it. And that's my same mission in a relationship. I want to make them better and make them the best version of themselves possible so that when they come out the other side of this, hopefully there is no end and it's just us progressing and growing and staying together. But even if there was to be an end, they still come out of this being better than they did coming in. You should never want to leave anybody worse for wear. That's one of the reasons why I still get along with the majority of people that I've dated. Because I always treated them fairly, non-toxic energy, all of those things. A lot of people have lost sight of that. And AG, I'm going to tell you, if you really find yourself having a hard time as far as dating in the community and all of that stuff goes, I would strongly advise you, hey Nova, to hit me on the side and we could talk about it. Yes, booking the session and all that, but this ain't even just about booking the session. This is about making sure that you have all the understanding and know-how you need so that you could um, proceed further without any hindrance. Because people, the higher up you go, the more people are going to try to stop you. They'll try to find random things to say or random things to do that's going to stop you from making your progress. Hey, Shaniqua, what's up? Tammy, what's good? Those of y'all came in here now, hit the like button and share this, please. It's a public post, so you can share it to anybody and they should be able to see it. If they can't, you let me know. Also, I do have a link. I do have a link in case anybody wants to jump in and talk about something with me while I'm still on here. I have a guest link, which I will provide you with if you hit me up, and I'll throw you in here real quick, and you can have your back and forth with me, and then we'll continue on. Other than that, all right, Tammy, drive safe. Now, moving on, we have another question here. This one's from a dude. This one's a very common question. I've got a lot of lifestyle questions. Jesus, is most of my friends, I guess this is all lifestyle people on the podcast right now, too. Eh, I guess I'm submerged deep in this shit, huh? Anyway, so this question is from Guy X. Him and his girl are kind of like a new couple, but not really. They have been in a lifestyle for years separately, and they've been together for a little over a year now. Now, up until this point, they haven't played at any parties or done anything because they did what some couples do when they first start, which is they stepped out of lifestyle and just got to know each other and blah 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 blah. I think any tactic you use is a right tactic. There's no necessarily right or wrong way to do it as long as you get the right result. Ah, yes, Nita, poly and a swinger. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Poly life is the best life. Shaniqua, tonight I'm answering questions that have been emailed to me. So I'm discussing this in an open forum topic, and also people are welcome to ask questions within the chat, and I will answer them. Or they can DM me if they don't want to be seen asking their question, and I will answer it that way. Right now, I'm just going through some email questions I have, because Lord knows I get a good amount of those. People asking me things on the side and in the DMs and all that. So I have this guy here. He's like I said, they've been together a little over the year. They're both lifestyle. They haven't played at a party yet. They haven't played with anybody outside of each other for that year because they were trying to build their connection before they got involved in engaging in lifestyle activity. And sorry, I don't always remember everybody's questions. All right, so he is man enough to admit, because it's a big deal when a man messages me. That's a big deal because it's like, us men, we tend to just figure things out on our own. We normally don't want to involve anybody in the situation because it's like it can make them feel like less of a man. And let me tell you something. There's no shame in asking questions. I say this all the time. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Always better to ask the question than to assume otherwise. Hit the like button, share it. Hit the like button, share it, please. Thank you. just like it says on the ticker there. All right. So what he said is he's concerned, and this is actually a typical concern to have. Him and his girl have been intimate, the sex is great, and all this other good stuff. They fantasized about playing with other people and watching the other one play with other persons and all types of things, and it's all hunky dory. The problem is he's starting to get cold feet. He says they were at a little meet and greet about 2, 3 weeks ago, and it was just a meet and greet. But this was the first time he gave his wife permission. You could feel this crowd out because we might go to an event that they're gonna be at or something, and see if there's anybody you're into. Apparently, they both function kind of in a sapio slash demisexual atmosphere, so that's how their mentality works. So they like to make a connection before they play. Is basically the gist of that. So apparently, what's happening here is he said that he felt a cold feeling in his insides when he saw her flirting. He was smiling because he was loving seeing her in action with somebody outside himself, as far as just flirting and acting like she might have an interest and blah 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 blah. So what ended up happening is he got nervous and he's starting to second guess himself as far as if he's really ready to see her playing with somebody else. Like, he says he has constant images of his girl getting hit from the back and making all types of faces that maybe she didn't even make with him. And I will tell you, brother, these insecurities are perfectly natural. You are not alone. We have all felt that when we had somebody we care about swinging with us. As men, we're going to think about that. And I want you to know that this is a safe space. I'm not being funny. I know people say safe space because it's being funny. I'm not being funny right now. And I'm about as manly as they come. Trust me. Anybody who knows me will tell you that. And I will tell you, if I got a partner and we're functioning like I have my lady now, and there's definitely times where those thoughts can float around in my head for a second. But then, see, what you got to ask yourself is, how symbiotic is y'all connection? Because you really need kind of a symbiotic connection in order to really function well as a couple in a lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with feeling a little bit of jealousy as long as it's not toxic. Like, if you just feel a little ooh for a second, that's okay. That just means you're just attracted to them and somebody else is checking your thing out and you like, that's me right there and she flirting with him. I don't know if I like that. It's perfectly okay. What you have to do is you have to ask yourself, do you feed off of each other? Because what I've seen work in the majority of relationships that function in lifestyle is they feed off of each other's perversion. Like, oh yeah, you about to get your ass butts, you know what I'm saying? And you actually are encouraging that because you don't want her to end up in a trash sex situation. Then she has to come to you and say, baby, you got to pick up some slack because I tried to have a little alternative fun and the motherfucker totally flopped. And that's going to happen too. But you don't want that for her, just like she shouldn't want that for you. You have to encourage each other's perversion. Feed off of them. Be like, ooh, you gonna bust her ass, baby. Or, ooh, you gonna bust her ass, boo. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all have to have that kind of energy back and forth. If you have that kind of energy back and forth, like, I'm gonna talk about this, and hopefully she doesn't kill me for it. But there was somebody that we was scheming on. And both of us mutually was scheming on the individual. So what ended up happening is she was like, yo, yeah, such and such and such. And we said some things we're gonna do. I ain't gonna get into all of that. But we are high-fiving each other and encouraging each other's shit. You've got to develop that kind of friendship, that kind of thing. Because, yes, I know a lot of y'all are just now seeing that I have somebody involved with me. But trust me, we've been talking and vetting each other for a minute. Yep, there she goes laughing. But my whole thing is you have to enjoy that. And then the elephant in the room. Ironically, I'm gonna say elephant after I mention this. Dick size. Fellas, you have to get over it. No matter how big your dick is, she's probably already had a bigger one. Guess what? She is still with you. And regardless of what happened back then, she's still with you now. And I know it's funny because I just was talking to somebody that's on the chat about this same thing earlier. And then I happened to see the question in my email. But a lot of men have this concern. A lot of men have this concern. And my brother, I will tell you now, I promise you, all of us think about it. All of us think about it. There is nothing wrong with thinking about that because you're supposed to think about that shit. If you didn't care, that would be a problem. You don't want that. You want to be like, yes, like just like you think she's not thinking of herself. Damn, you gonna fuck that girl? She got a bigger ass than me, maybe, or some bigger titties. You think that woman ain't thinking about that shit when you about to bust that chick ass? She thinking about that shit. Women are insecure as hell. They way more insecure than us. Why do you think the beauty industry is a multi-billion dollar industry? It's built off of the insecurities of female. That's why cosmetic surgery, cosmetic makeup, and all this other shit is a huge industry that's going nowhere ever. Because we all have vanity as a guilty pleasure of ours, or as a sin of ours, if you will. It's a sin that we all have, but women especially. You can't be caught up on that. If you know you are satisfying the living shit out of your woman and she is happy with you on a regular basis, let me tell you something. It don't matter what that man does because now, so like I said, people that have heard me say this will heard me say this. If the only thing keeping her with you is the fact that you have been the biggest or best that she's had ever in life, then she was easy to lose in the first place. That means she wasn't really a life partner for you. She just was a fun time. And she could be where she needs to be for that. And there's no shame in that. No shame at all. But obviously, you treat somebody as serious as they show you they need to be treated. If y'all really have that deep seated a relationship, ain't nobody should be able to get in between that. Period. So engage in the lifestyle. Have your fun. Living in the lifestyle is amazing because you get to live out porn fantasies on a regular basis. Things that people have to log on online and they got their oil, baby oil, and they warming up, you know what I'm saying? They jacking off to these shit. You get to live that life. And even better when you find somebody that you can share in this shit with. Stop being selfish. Don't limit her. Don't say, "Oh, I don't know if I want her to play with him because he got his dick bigger than mine." Shit. So what? Number one, it might not be better. Number two, a lot of women have an upward limit to how much they can take anyway. So if he's got too much, it's not going to be fun as much as it's going to hurt them. Especially if you're already hurting them at the size you're at. You might want to take into account that likely she's not killing herself to have but so much more. Or if she does get curious and want to try something extra, let her try it. Just like you might see a girl and her ass is crazy and you want to bounce off that shit. She ain't supposed to stand there and say, "No, I don't want you fucking her because them cheeks is clapping too much." No, she's supposed to be like, "Yo, I am down for this shit. Bust her ass. And the thing is, you also should understand, and I mean, I'm not here to tell people what your dynamic should be, but I personally, this is my personal opinion, feel like you don't need to be involved. Hit the like button and share, people. You coming in, you coming out. A little like button and share will do me a great service. Please and thank. Um, but yeah, like I said, you should be able to play without the other one being involved. As a matter of fact, you never know. You could steal game from somebody. Ain't no shame in that. There's definitely things that through the years I've implemented that I first saw in a porn or maybe saw somebody doing. I was like, shit, I never thought of doing it like that. Let me do that. Maybe, I mean, I've studied Tantra or what do you call tantric sex. There's so many things that I mean, I have a lot of tricks in my bag. Shit, some tricks my lady hasn't even seen yet. And trust and believe she'll see it before anybody else does. But my whole thing is that there's so much to learn. You might even want to sit back for a second and sometimes seeing it from that third party be like, oh shit, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this and that. With combine that with your familiarity, you might bring her to a next level of her pleasure because you got to see something from the outside looking in that you couldn't see before when you were busy in that shit. And the same thing for a female. There's no shame in taking notes. You might see a girl giving him head and he's having a different reaction than he had with you. Don't take that as, oh, you're not good or you're less than. Like, people have to stop bringing negativity into the bedroom. You come to the bedroom with positivity and fun energy. All you have to do is think about that. There's an opportunity for you to learn something. Let me sit back, shut the fuck up, and see what they're doing. Oh shit, I know how to do that. I just never really thought that he would care for me to combine those two techniques. He might have never thought that this was something that was for him, but when she did it, he realized, damn, there's some shit I really like. And there's some shit that y'all never thought of because y'all were used to functioning within the things that you know works for you. There's nothing wrong being exposed to something new because it can help to add to your arsenal. Steal everybody's game. There's no shame in it. That shit is out there. It is free to take. You take that game, you add it to your repertoire, and make yourself more of a demon than you already are. That is my advice to y'all. Hopefully, what I said helps because I felt that right there, especially because I am also a man, obviously, a man that is involved. So I understand the mentality of that. I always tell people, I said, you don't know whether or not you're truly lifestyle until you bring somebody that you care about into a swinging situation. That's when you truly know. Because when you're willing and capable of functioning in that, then you know, at least for the swinger aspect of the lifestyle, you will know that you're truly a swinger when you're able to engage in those arenas and really function naturally. As y'all coming in, like, share, and subscribe, please. You hit the YouTube, share this motherfucker, all that shit. I need y'all to do that for me. Trying to get these subscribers up. It's growing slowly but surely, but I need more of y'all to dive in on this. So let's get it. Anyway, so aside from that, yo, Nita, you crazy. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with any body type. Um, because even if one person doesn't find it sexy, there's another 20 people who do. Like, no matter what your body type is, your plus size, SSBW, slim, big titty, small titty, big ass, small ass, whatever, tall, short, none of that shit matters. It's about your vibes, your energy. That shit will set you apart because you can look amazing, but if your attitude is terrible, the majority of people of any kind of real quality are not going to want to fuck with you because they're going to look at you like, I mean, she look good, but her attitude sucks. I'm not interested. Anyway, all right, so I have another question here. Ooh, hmm, this is interesting. All right, so yeah, I'm not mad at this, but I'm kind of mad at this. I'm not really mad at it, but I mean, it's interesting. All right, so apparently this is a lesbian couple. Been together 3.5 years. Um, they haven't. Neither one of them have been with a man for over a decade. But they say that they've been using things like double-sided dildos and all the trappings that come with trying to get that penetration feeling without involving a man. So they found a bunch of ways to make that work. But they said lately they've been considering having a male as a toy. I laugh at this one because I've talked about the whole girl thing and having a girl as a toy or doing the unicorn thing or whatever. And I find those dynamics to function pretty well as long as everybody understands where they stand and what the expectation is in said relationship. Now, to y'all, that guy is gonna have some very, very, very tight pussy to slide in. Let's keep it a B. Them girls ain't mess with no man in what? 10 years? Well, technically, one of them said 8.5, the other one said 10, but basically, you might as well put them both at 10. 10 years, no man. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because I salute y'all for that. I mean, 10 years is a long time to go as a female and not get penetrated when you know what that feels like. So that's kind of wild because that's like me saying I'm not going to have sex for 10 years. I couldn't do that if I tried because I know what it feels like. I know what I'd be missing. I'd be jonesing. Shit, I'm jonesing right now. And I just was with her last weekend. I'm jonesing. I know how a fucking person that likes smoking cigarettes feels. I'm like, shit, I need that hit. I need that fix. You know what I'm saying? Everything here still works very well. So my urges is real. All of that aside. So they would like to know where they might be able to go. Wow. I'm going to address that statement in a second. They want to know where they're going to go. I mean, where can they go to find a man that would be viable to them? I have some advice that some might look at and say, but I'll tell you, this happened to me years ago. One of my first poly relationships. I met one of the girls just at a bar and some regular shit. And me and her was kicking it for a minute. We went out a couple of times, linked up, blah, blah, blah. It's cool. One day she comes at me and says, I have something I really need to tell you, being that I see we getting serious. I'm like, oh, what's up? Me and my laid back persona. I'm like, yeah, what's good? All right. Well, I'm in a relationship. I hope you're not mad at me for that. I looked at her and said, the fuck? What means you in a relationship? I thought you said you were single. She said, well, technically I am in a relationship. It's just a different kind of relationship. I'm like, the fuck that mean? She's like, I'd like you to meet my partner. And I'm like, and at this time, I'm still young. So it didn't register to me right away because I'm in my 20s. So I didn't think to myself, she's talking about a girl probably. Like now, if I would have came to me, I would have figured that out right away. I probably would have known before she even told. But back then, I just was like, what do you mean? Okay, I mean, if you want me to meet them, I mean, that's cool, but I don't really see the point because I don't you find it to be weird. I said, no, 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 I promise it won't be weird. You're gonna see. So, and apparently they had planned this because next thing you know, she hits her girl up, says, yo, come out, we'll pull up, whatever. Her girlfriend pulls up, is like, I want you to meet my partner, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wait a minute. Now, see, there's a time in everybody's life where you got to make sure that you respond to something right. So I had one of those Will Smith on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air moments where I literally stopped and I looked at the invisible camera, the camera that wasn't really there, and I said, this is the best ambush ever. Because I ain't gonna lie, her girlfriend was nice looking. So I was like, but I still played it off. So I played it stoic. So I was like, okay, what's up? Like, so y'all in a relationship? Say, yeah. Being that I was feeling you, I wanted you to meet my partner because if you deal with me, you got to deal with both of us. And I was like, again, looked at the invisible camera, or as I look here, like this. And then I said, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm not against that, but this is definitely a different experience to me. She said, nah, no, but I feel like you would get it. You seem like you have the mentality that's a little bit more open minded than most. So I end up dating her. Now, I tell that story swinging back to your question, ladies. Whichever one of y'all is the more aggressive one, the more outgoing one, I feel like you should take your time, vet this person. Don't just jump in because any fucking guy with a dick is gonna see y'all two females. I don't even know what y'all look like, but just the fact that there's two females looking for a guy to fill in the space, and they're gonna say whatever they can to dive in that shit. So my advice to you, don't tell everybody about it right away. Don't put it on a dating profile. Please don't put it on a dating profile. Those dating apps is fucking predatory. That is a ground for predator. You don't want to be on there talking about something that every guy fantasizes about because you're going to have a million inboxes and you won't be able to file out the bullshit from the good shit. You won't be able to tell the shit from Shinola, as they say. So what I suggest, one of y'all take the lead on that. I assume y'all trust each other's judgment pretty good at this point, 3.5 years in. Get out there, start meeting. Go on a dating site. Don't let things get too serious before you tell them. Go out a couple of days, you get to know them, have some phone conversations, all of that stuff. Jesus Christ, Cornita, you're going on over a year without any and it doesn't bother you? That would bother me. Yes. I don't understand that. Like, I mean, and Kanita's a good looking girl. She definitely is. But for some reason, well, I know what the reason is. But I mean, Kanita, you could have two husbands, but you would probably need guys that can play the role of a switch. See, the thing is with you, Kanita, is you have a very strong personality, and your personality type and what would really work with your personality type typically would be either somebody. I don't think a submissive man would work for you because you would get annoyed with him. So your desires and your personality type are in contradiction. And Shaniqua, you're another one. I don't know what it is with y'all women that have these dominant and strong personality thinking, knowing damn well that y'all do not want submissive men. Because in order to have a submissive man, you need to be able to play that role as the dominant and be able to respect and accept the fact that they are submissive to you. See, this is what I'm talking about, Kanita. How do you want a man that can lead, but you want two husbands? Let me tell you something. I'm about as dominant as they come. My leadership capabilities are great without question. And let me tell you something, not in this world or any other motherfucking world will there be another man at my side with my woman. They can come have their fun and get lost, but no way would I ever be husband number one, two. I mean, fuck the numbers. It's just there's not going to be more than one person sitting at the head of that table. A dominant will not share with another man. Not that. Even if they're open to their woman playing or whatever else, there's no way in hell that they're going to let them share as them both being the two kings with the queen in the middle. That's not going to happen. Kanita, that's not you want two dicks. You see this, right? Now, you can put two dicks together. It don't. What are you gonna do? Put them both in you at the same time? Because I mean, you gonna put them both in the pussy at the same time? Because I mean, not for nothing. I think one dick could do it. You just need the right one dick. Whatever your search criteria has been as to why you keep finding inadequate men, you need to change that. That's why you have a pattern of one failure man after the next because you keep using the same parameters to grab your men. You got to dash all of that from the board and accept a different type. Go for something that maybe you haven't tried. Or you can stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to and keep ending up saying, I need two dicks. Whichever works for you. Jeep says she needs a dominant man. Very dominant. I could see that. With your personality type, definitely could see that. 100%. And you definitely would play the role of a submissive. He said men are not humble enough to understand that 2 minutes ain't enough. Like I said, honey, you need to change the men that you're grabbing. Every man is not having 2 minute problems. I've been to enough swing parties to tell you I wasn't the only person going for the distance in the party. We was all in there throttle. So every man out here ain't 2 minute men. Like I said, maybe you got something magic going on between them legs, but as a person that's regularly experiencing some pretty amazing pussy, I could tell you, you can still have staying power if you're the right kind of man. You just need to find the right kind. Because what you've been dealing with ain't been hitting on shit. Maybe you're in the wrong area. Oh yes, Cornita, I do remember that. Listen, I can't speak for those that fail. I can only speak for those that succeed, that have that they have that go mode. If you were up here, I know somebody I could throw at you that would definitely throttle your ass. I know somebody to throw at you that would definitely throttle your ass. Mm-hmm. Think of a couple actually, because the thing is with me, I'm a straight man as they come, but I know which guys I can refer and say, if you want some real dick working, go to him, go to him, go to him. I'm not a hater. I'm a congratulator because I can't catch them all. You know, catch me at a play party. Hey, I might put on a presentation myself. But if you're looking for something long term that you can really grab onto, I got to keep it a bean. Might be in the wrong location because sometimes we are not in the right location. And it's funny, Jeep says something as I'm saying not in the right location because she already knows what I said to her about that. Sometimes we are not in the right location for our romantic success. And you keep complaining, oh, I'm running into these, I'm running into this, I'm running into that. Like me, I realized a while ago that more than likely the person, and I said this even before I ended up involved, was the person I'm being involved with more likely not going to live in New York City. Why? Because just the mentality of a lot of the people that I've come across in New York City doesn't align with the way that I function. So even though New York City is a huge place and there's supposedly a lot of eligibles, as a person that spent plenty of time floating around trying to see, I wasn't impressed. It took me to not look within New York City to figure that out. And that's the thing. Sometimes you're in the wrong location and you need to consider if you want to have a viable love life, you might want to get outside of the whack ass location you're in. And Cornita, I know where you are, and your location is not there. So you have to be realizing that you might have to relocate to another area so that you can have a different situation. I don't know about that, Kanita. I don't know about wife is in Florida. She might have something to say about that considering she on here. I don't think she in Florida though. Last time I checked, she's in Jersey. But, you know, that's stuff that might happen down the line in the future. We'll get to that line when we cross it. Right now, like I said, you have to take it one day at a time. You have to take your time and figure things out. You have to evaluate your situation as it is right now. You have to look around and say, I keep running into failure after failure after failure. Maybe this ain't the place for me to have success. The only reason I'm still in New York is because my son is in one of the best high schools in the country for science. And I need to be close for personal reasons. So I haven't moved yet. Once he's done, I'm out of here, which is perfect because that gives me time to do the other things I need to get set up so I can be Gucci. So you have to have a plan. And a lot of people don't come with a plan. Like I said, and I want to swing this back to these girls, so I want them to pay attention on it. If you want to get a solid man, they're out here. For sure they is. People talk about, oh, the dating pool has pee in it. No. It's that you keep staying in the same spot and don't flush. You have to flush. You have, no matter where you are, you can't keep peeing in the same spot. Nobody cleans it, nobody flushes. It just fills up with. No, everything has pee in it. Humans do stupid shit. anything that we touch gets corrupt. That's just how it is. And Jeep, I will happily send you that list. Yes, I didn't miss you. But the key thing is that you have to be willing to revamp your criteria. And as far as the women go, like I said, get back to them. I'm about to sidetrack. Ladies, one of you be the representative. Y'all meet these men. Y'all could take turns even. If one of y'all find somebody seems viable, y'all start talking, see what's up, blah, blah, blah. Then you do the thing that I said. Let them know that you have a partner, that your partner's a girl, and you can tell them the whole thing. And you'll know that they're the person to say that to, and they can handle it maturely and function within their masculine energy to still allow y'all women to function within your feminine energy. Because you'll have vetted them through already to skip a lot of the preliminary bullshit. That is my advice to y'all. I think that the way those girls did it with me initially was the best way you could possibly do it because it gives you an unfettered, uncorrupted. Because, like I said, if you come out the gate saying that us girls are looking for a man, you're going to have every damn Tom, Dick, and Harry dumbass coming at y'all with the dumb shit because they all got threesome fantasy. They want to look like the man walking with two girls. And let me tell you something. Having two girlfriends is a lot of work. And I'm not just talking about fucking. I'm talking about you got to deal with those multiple personalities and all this other stuff. And when they have issues with each other, which they will, because they'll have issues with them, they'll have issues with you, because every relationship, no matter what is dynamic, has issues. So you got to be ready for those issues. You got to make sure that you're ready to spend twice as much money because you're going to take them out on dates sometime. Of course, they'll take you out too, so it'll be cool. But as the man, be ready. You're going to be the one doing a lot of the digging when it comes to the dates. So if you can't manage that, you might want to stick with one. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Donita, 100%. See, I like this. Look at that. I like when a nice comment like that comes up. People are stagnant and complacent with their growth. You know, I'm going to say that. That is very true. And that is one of the biggest problems is that if you got one person that's growing at this rate, another person's happy being right here, that's not going to work. And that could go vice versa. It's not going to work. Both of you, like whoever you're dealing with, they have to be on equal timing if you want anything serious. If you're just looking to play, have a good time, whatever the case may be, that you can do. You know, you can freestyle that shit. You don't even got to overthink. That's what I said. Oh, I almost forgot. Shout out to my peoples. I want y'all to. We got a couple of things going on here, and I want to just put these out here before I finish what I'm saying because I got some more to say on that subject too. I want to shout out the Discreet Friends, of course. I work with them as well, and you know the events that we do is pretty dope. Right now, this is the Pillow Talk podcast, which is pretty much the flagship thing that Discreet Friends has right now. And basically, it's Jonathan and Izzy on there, and they do a lot of different topics, different conversations, mostly lifestyle related and otherwise. Very, very good topics. They're a lot of fun to listen to and all of that good stuff. One day I'm going to have a co-host on here, and they're going to be my real co-host, and it's going to be dope. But until then, it is what it is. But like I said, they're a lot of fun to listen to, and that's cool. Also, while we're in the Discreet Friends atmosphere, November 9th, I believe that is, right? There's a karaoke. You can see the address up there. It's in Staten Island. $25 per person. You know, you can text that phone number there on the screen. You can pause so you can save it so that you can purchase a ticket or whatever. That's going to be a great time because one thing about Discreet Friends is that it's not always about the nasty hookups. It's also about just having fun together, fellowshipping, getting to know one another, all of that good stuff. Um, Also, in the Discreet Friends atmosphere, because we keep you busy, we have the New Year's Eve party. 2024 New Year's Eve party is going to be at Temptations nightclub in the city. That's downtown, close to where the World Trade area is and all of that. Um, Club's a nice spot. It's going to be a great time. We're all going to be there. You know, apparently there's a plan to bust in the new year, if you know what I mean. So, you know, you might want to be there for that moment. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, also, for my people who like some good times, there's going to be an event November 23rd. It's a fall, you know, semi-casual event. Definitely dope. It's got a lot of Caribbean music there, but they also play a lot of other stuff too. Some of the best DJs in the city are going to be there. It's going to be a great time. It's food inclusive, a very sexy crowd, all of that, very mature. This is a vanilla event, but I co-sign this, of course, because I have stake in this. This is one of the events I promote, and you know, it's always a great time. So you see the information on the flyer. You can use that to get your tickets, or you can just type it in, and it'll show up in the searches on Eventbrite and all that good stuff. Or you can hit me up if you need more information. Boom. We got a hotel takeover, collaboration, Discreet Friends and Lola Entertainment. Save the date, save the date, save the date. August 8th to the 10th, 2025. This hotel has the pool situation on lock. It's going to be amazing because you'll have 24-hour access to the pool. You could literally just pack nothing clothing wise because you can wear whatever the fuck you want to wear. Whatever you want to wear. If you want to wear nothing at all, you can do that shit and it'll be perfectly fine and nobody will judge you. You text the number there for information. The link will be coming up just now so you can book your hotel rooms, lock that shit in, and everything will be everything. And hopefully you book and get into the hotel because you don't want to have to come from another one to get there. We have the entire hotel on Smash. So like I said, anywhere from the reception desk to your hotel room to wherever. If you want to be bucket naked the whole weekend, there you go. While we're speaking of Lola stuff, because she's collaborating with that, of course, Lola's having a Halloween party. It's her annual Halloween Bash 2024 going down at Caligula nightclub. The information's on the flyer, of course. It's always a great time. Everybody really dresses in costumes, so it's pretty cool. Of course, the usual LS rules apply: BYOB, BYOC. Pull up, have a great time, mature crowd, no ignorance, just great vibes, great music, and a bunch of great people in the same place at the same damn time. So y'all get ready to enjoy that as that's coming up within a week's time. Matter of fact, that's coming up this week. Shit. Damn, where does the time go? Anyway, be there or be square. Most of the Street Friends crew will be in the building for this. So it's definitely going to be a great motherfucking time for sure, for sure. All right. And last but certainly not least, my people's over by the BLX Life's Experience. KD Ford is the head of that. And of course, he has his lovely ladies there. Um, Jesus, I can't remember everybody's name. Topanga, Applesauce, another lady there too. I think another couple ladies that be on there too. And I mean, listen, they do a really great show there. They come with a different experience, especially being that a lot of girls are from different regions and stuff like that. So they come each with a different experience from a different corner of the country. And it's pretty cool listening to them talk and listening to them tell us about their experiences and just adding their lifestyle experiences to the situation. I put this up there because I want you to hit their podcast up, check them out. They come on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. We all love 9 p.m. for some reason. I don't know, Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, I think it's a great show. Should definitely check it out. All right. Now back to my cute face. Hello. Hopefully I ain't miss my face too much. Um, Janelle Harris, I will definitely send you that flyer. That is not a problem. As soon as I get off of this, I will forward that to you. Matter of fact, looking at time, it's about to happen just now. Um, yeah, but like I said, if you want to have a successful relationship in the lifestyle or even outside of lifestyle, whatever dynamic you want two guys, you want a girl and another guy, whatever it is that your dynamic is that you choose to have, dominant, submissive, whatever. First of all, you have to vet. Take your time, feel them out, have a lot of conversations, ask all the questions you need to ask. I want everybody to live by this statement that I say all the time. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Ever. Never be ashamed to ask a question. If a person acts like they have problems answering your question, or they're getting frustrated because you're asking too many questions, they're doing you a favor because they're showing you that they ain't the one. Because you should be able to ask all the questions you want, especially when you're operating in a lifestyle in any way, because you're putting yourself in an exposed situation and you should have as much transparency as you need so you can function comfortably. So there should be no issue with asking questions. Also, if you, again, I know I said this already, but I'm gonna say this one more time. For the slow people in the back, if you are finding yourself having the same problems in the same space, it's time for you to change your space. Or you can sit there and just bitch in the corner, but do it quietly because the rest of us don't want to hear it. You know, like a fighter, I forget which fighter said this. He said, "You don't know what you're gonna do till you get hit in the mouth. Once you get hit in the mouth, that helps to determine what your next move is gonna be." You could take that into life and reapply that, saying, when you're put in a tricky situation, or when you're put in a situation that's seeming like a loss for you, you have two choices: make an adjustment to make it better, or you can sit there quietly and just take your lick. Those are your two choices. And Jeep, yes, I get it. You're always moving around. Well, Jeep, you know where the tribe is. You know where the squad is. Maybe you might want to look, into Connecticut or something. I think Connecticut would suit you well. This way you can still be in the region without having to take those ridiculous trips that you take just to hang out with your tribe. Just saying. A suggestion. A lot of parts of Connecticut that are not too far removed from the lifestyle you would have up where you live. I won't say where that is, but you know. Anyway, I do appreciate everybody for being on here tonight. I will be on here next week. Same bat time, same bat station, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Though there are a lot of people who caught this and a lot of people who missed this that are definitely going to want to watch this because some of the questions I answered, a lot of questions I answered are relevant to a lot of people and their concern. I don't know, Jeep. You got to pick a winner, man. I just felt like Connecticut was the closest to where you are used to. Maybe you got something else in mind, but please pick something within a couple hour radius of the area that you tend to like to hang in a lot. Just saying. Make life easy for yourself. But anyway, like I said, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. I am here. Oh, Jesus, this girl's about to end up in fucking Florida complaining about the men just like Hernita was. Y'all don't learn. The South is not the place to find your man. I will take an extra couple of minutes to say this. Let me say this shit real quick. If you are down south, I wish you luck because let me tell you something. The ratio of women to men out there is ridiculous. Ridiculous. If I wanted to be a single man living my best life, I'll move down south and have a smorgasbord. Oh shit, you're right, Chrissy. I'm saying Wednesdays. Ah, fuck me. Thank you, baby. I'm tired and I'm hungry. It's Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Excuse me, y'all. Tuesdays at 9 p.m. is my podcast. I'm promoting everybody else's shit. Forget about my own damn shit. Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Listen, but G, you're going to want to have a guy eventually. So then your guy's going to end up living in fucking New Jersey or Connecticut or somewhere up here somewhere. And you're going to be living in the warmer weather. And then you got to deal with long distance relationship bullshit. That's garbage. Nobody should volunteer for long distance relationship circumstance. I'm just saying. But you know what? You could add yourself to the list of other people who end up saying the infamous word, Max, you were right. Because I swear I hear this so often that even though my ego should love the fact that I keep getting it right so often, these are things I'm not trying to be right about. I want y'all to prove me wrong, but that's not what happened. Please listen to me. The South is not where you're going to find your winner more than likely. Maybe you get lucky if you do, you're an outlier, but I'm just saying. There's a lot. The competition is crazy. And there's a lot of women settling for a lot of bullshit just because they'd rather settle for that than don't send me flowers. Send me some, I don't know, send me like a fucking PlayStation thing or something, like a little gift card thing. I'm a nerd. I like to play video games. You give me like one of those $10 gift cards. I'll use it for like a fucking DLC or some shit. I don't know. Well, I'll give it to my son. Let him use it because I don't play the game that much. But either way, I hear you, G. But this is you up north saying this. Fast forward, you'd be surprised when you get tired what you end up settling for. Another thing too. Everybody settles in some form of fashion because you never ever can find every single absolute thing in one person. It just doesn't happen. There's always a catch. There's always something. Now, the question is what it is that you can and are willing to deal with. That are the things that, AKA, what are your deal breakers? What are your hard lines? That is what you have to ask yourself, honestly. Well, it's not girls, plural, Jeep. It's only girl. Don't get me to have to deal with a headache later, okay? You saying girls like I got multiple ones. That's not where we at right now. That's not where I'm at right now. Yes, I am poly and all, but there's different aspects to poly, which Jeep I know you know well, so not gonna go into all that tonight. But anyway, I keep this going on and on and on and on. And yes, I have just one. Thank you. Say that clear, because I don't need them problems later. Because she kind of tall. I would actually have to make some effort to, wrestle her down and she start cutting up. I don't want to have to, break a sweat and all that shit unnecessarily. Even though I do love inflicting pain, but not for that reason. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, y'all need to look at that picture and realize how tall she is standing next to me. But anyway, my thing is that, like I said, I do appreciate everybody coming on this because I just realized I'm not saying nothing else about this. We're going to do another one of these. I think I'm going to continue this next week because I have a lot more questions here than I realized. Fuck. Yeah, I got quite a few. Tell you, man, content coming out the airs. I could just make content like this. I could probably do about 3 videos a week if I really wanted to, but I'm busy, so I don't have time for that right now. But yeah, like I said, appreciate everybody coming on. Next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here. Or especially go to the YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Even if you already are subscribed, go there, share my video, and tell other people to subscribe to it because I'm coming up with quality content. I'm talking about all different types of shit. If you're interested in co-hosting with me on the show, you really want to talk about, especially like I said, next week's going to be answering more questions and discussing. Ooh, I got some doozies here. A lot of different. I'm looking at the list of questions. That's why I'm like, shit. I could probably do another hour and a half. I got so much easily. Anyway, and that's now. I'm probably going to get more now that I did this. If you have questions that you want me to address, you don't want to say them on here because I get it. Everybody deserves their anonymity. DM me on the side. I promise you I won't say anything about it as far as who you are. And yeah, we'll chop it up next week. And until then, stay safe. Happy Halloween. Janelle, I got you. I'm going to send you that flyer right now while I'm thinking about it. And make sure that name right there. Yep, I see you. I'm going to send her that flyer. And, if you go out this weekend, be safe, be aware, all of that. I got you with the list. You know what I'm saying? I'll hit you up. I'll give you a list of a few good men, and we'll take it from there. Anyway, I will holler at y'all. Peace. I need a